Hey guys, what's going on? It's Roth and Joshua here. We're going to talk about the big season 2 finale of S.H.I.E.L.D. Now, this was a long episode. It was 2 hours, a lot of stuff happened, so we're going to hit on some of the major things, especially the things that seem to be setting up some big changes for next season. But we can't get to everything, unfortunately. So let's dive right in. So the first big sort of twist in the episode was that Cal was not the big bad of the family, but really it was Jiaying that was the monster who was able to hot shield it. With her kind of calm demeanor. What did you think of that turn of events?
That was
sort of got seeded last week.
Yeah. At the end of last week when she killed.
You got the idea.
Yeah. You know, I almost wondered if they needed to go a little more just to show how fractured she had become, because when she got torn apart and put back together, she changed. And I thought, you know, that's an interesting thing. But like sort of her demeanor, and then she just kept kind of repeating herself, and you know, we're doing this to protect ourselves, and you know, it's like, yeah, we get that, but you know, can you dig a little deeper and sort of make me believe you're this like crazy person who would kill all these people just to save the Inhumans?
I agree. I feel like we didn't see, like, I feel like I wanted to see more shades of crazy from her, because she still seemed pretty calm and in control and rational, though malintended, you know. But to the point that she was willing to kill her own daughter, who they had scoured the earth searching for. I thought it was a little too rapid to happen just in this episode. And then on the other hand, Cal sort of goes off, and it's very bittersweet because it is a big loss for S.H.I.E.L.D. As crazy as he is, he did really love his daughter, and now he sort of gets this happy ending. But the sad part is that he can't remember her, and she's lost him. But did you think he needed to be punished? I mean, he killed a lot of people. Yeah,
he was just like, candidly saying like, oh yeah, I murdered a bunch of people. Yeah, I sure did. So yeah, it did feel like, but you know, this isn't a show where everyone gets what they deserve. You know what I mean? So I suppose that's the best way to kind of deal with him. I feel like putting him in a prison and having him remember what he did and just get angrier and angrier, that's not a position you want to put a person named Mr. Hyde in. Nope. So maybe this was sort of a better outlet for him. Also, Eric Goldman said this in his review, but he looked really goofy when they like buffed him up. I mean, they couldn't go like Hulk size on him, but he did look a little, you know.
He did, and I mean, there's something really brilliant about the way Kyle MacLachlan has played this character, where he's so funny in his insanity, and he's just so perfectly cast. And I'm really sad to lose this character who's like batshit insane. Sorry, but hilariously so. But I agree that unfortunately he read as more sort of silly than menacing in those final moments. You wanted to be a little afraid of him. But it was a nice connection between him and Coulson, these two dads of S.H.I.E.L.D. for, you know, better or worse. I think we know which one is better. Finally sort of reaching an accord, you know. I will say that it was bittersweet for me. There was something about him going off and being a veterinarian. And I agree that you don't want him to like stew in his madness and potentially escape, so maybe this was the safest plan, but man, he killed a lot of people and he just got away with it. I don't know if I'm good with that. Hey, Coulson lost his arm.
What the heck?
And it's funny because I think we did an article on this. My friend Eric Eisenberg got this from Kevin Feige in an interview that they've been doing. This has been their Star Wars reference, that in every single movie in this phase, somebody lost their arm, so they did it here too. What do you think that means for the future? Is he going to have I mean, obviously he'll have some kind of cybernetic arm.
You would think, you know, he's well, I was going to say he's
friends with... Inhuman.
Yeah, yeah, it didn't work out for him. I would say that, you know, at the end, Skye is talking to Coulson, and they're like, oh, we're going to do like a team with like superpowered people. You're going to be the first one.
Yes.
And so it's sort of setting up the idea that we could get more superpowered people next season. So I also think that this sort of like makes it more believable that he could have an arm that could do something cool, like shoot electricity or hack into things or just be super strong. Like, so I feel like they sort of set up for him to have like a cool new arm. So yeah, definitely won't be just like one-armed Coulson. He'll probably get like a hook or something.
Yeah. That was, I don't think it'll be a hook, but I think it'll be like a cool gadgety arm, which is the direction some people thought they were going to go with him a while ago. You brought up a good point, which is that, you know, Eric in his review was also speculating that they are seemingly setting up some kind of Secret Warriors kind of storyline with this secret team of superpowered people. And it's an interesting thing because S.H.I.E.L.D. started out about this to be this show that was about normal people in a superpowered world.
Yeah.
And I think that they've discovered over time that we like watching the superpowered
people.
Like
when Deathlock shows up, you're like, yeah!
Well, I've loved the Inhumans storyline.
Yeah.
You know, it's been so much fun. So, you know, but they, in an interview that Amy did, they were like, well, we don't really have the budget to fully do that. So what do you think it'll look like?
I don't know, maybe just a couple superpowered people on a team, but then you run the risk of like devaluing like the human characters, not that they're human, well, they're inhuman, but you know, that we've come to love so much. Like for a while, May was the most badass character on the show, but now as we saw in the finale when she fought S.H.I.E.L.D, a little just, and she's done, she's on the floor unconscious. So, you know, if you go too much, then it's like, why do we even have, why are we watching these like normal people operate?
Well, and I think it's interesting too because May still was a big badass when Skye tried to just fight her. Even
she's
as much
one-armed.
You know, she was like one-armed. She was like, don't make me kill you, girl. I still like you. But yeah, you're right. She's not an Inhuman, and Skye has a lot of power, and I think she's going to even come to have more power. I'm pretty excited about it because I did like watching that element of the show. I think there's a couple of obvious choices that would join that team, but it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. We have to also talk about Ward,
the big bad.
The big bad, and this is kind of cool. I was glad they didn't redeem him. Eric said that in his review. I absolutely agree. He was full on evil. That torture was nasty.
Yeah, anything to do with your nails gets me. Ooh, it's like the worst.
I was screaming and like clutching myself. He just, you know, he brutally was going to have her lover die right in front of her. He shot who he thought was May point blank, and now he's out for blood because he actually killed someone that he, in his own word way, cared about. What do you think of the turn that he's now going to be head of this small fractured Hydra?
Well, yeah, they do need a new villain with like Jiaying gone and the other Hydra people gone. They do need some, and so who better than someone who knows them like so intimately and who is very crazy, has proven himself as you just pointed out. So I think that's a cool turn for him. And I'm interested to see like what he does as the new head of Hydra. Although I've got to believe there's someone else out there that they don't know about who's bigger and badder than he is, or like another head of Hydra, you know? Even though they can't find him right now, they mentioned in the end. But I feel like, yeah, for now, like Ward would make a great villain.
I think it's going to be nice to have a familiar face to put sort of the enemy on and have it be a more personal battle. The stakes just kind of raised in that regard. Finally, I know we have to like go, but Simmons, what the heck?
My theory is that she becomes Venom.
Okay, that's interesting. No, I don't see how that works.
That's never going to happen. But it's just a black goop. You know, you see that in a Marvel thing, and you're like, Venom.
I actually do have a theory. I have a theory that basically that it's going to take her in and spit her out. That she's not going to be lost for a period of time. That it's actually going to spit her out very quickly. But she'll have changed. But I think the fact is that we've established over this season that she really does not like the superpower people.
Yes.
She doesn't trust them. She's turned sort of more bloodthirsty. I think she's going to come out as a living weapon that is basically instinctually wants to kill Inhumans. And then they're going to have to figure that out.
Like imbued with like the powers of the stone.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's the thing about like Kree people. They have like their armor and their powers can sort of make these like weird like constructs, almost organic constructs. So I could see her like doing that. That'd be really cool.
Yeah. Overall, what are your thoughts?
I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was a little, the finale, the 2-hour S.H.I.E.L.D. movie, you know, there's so much that was going on. I thought the Ward, like, subplot, you know, with Bobby and everything, poor Bobby, was a little, it sort of felt like it was distracting from the main Inhumans thing on the ship, which was sort of the big meat and potatoes of the episode. Overall, I thought it was good, and it's got me excited to see, you know, what's happening next. Oh, and poor May.
Poor May.
But actually, it's good for her, though, right?
May's going off to be with her Andrew and access her humanity.
And she grabs the gun at the end, so.
Well, she is May. You know, I actually liked sort of I don't mind an A-B storyline, and I thought that in terms of how that paid off emotionally with Bobby taking that bullet, that sort of paid off, and it set up Ward for the next season. A lot of what they were trying to do was set up the next season, which does feel to me like it could be a very different show than certainly how S.H.I.E.L.D. started out to be. And it's changed a lot since then, but this could be even more different still with a lot more supers. Okay, what do you guys think? Leave your comments below about what you thought of the finale overall and what you think we might be seeing next season on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 3.